Prabhu, Baladev Jayanti. So most auspicious day. So before we were singing the Dashavata Stotra, but I won't sing that now. Now I'll sing glorifying Nityananda Rai as Baladev. So all the qualities in Nityananda, of course, are the same qualities as Baladev Prabhu. So chanting this beautiful bhajan, we can consider the non-difference between Nityananda and Baladev Prabhu. Akroda Paramananda Nityananda Rai Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedaya Akroda Paramananda Nityananda Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedaya Adama Patita Jive Dware Dware Giya Harinama Mahamantra Vichena Bilaya Adama Patita Jive Dware Dware Giya Harinama Mahamantra Vichena Bilaya Jare Deke Tare Kahe Gante Trina Dori Amare Kiniya Bolo Gaura Hari Jare Deke Tare Kahe Gante Trina Dari Amara Kiniya Bolo Gaura Hari Eta Bola Nityananda Munega Vijaya Sonara Pavata Jeno Dulate Lakaya Eta Bali Nityananda Munega Vijaya Sonara Pavata Jeno Dulate Lakaya Eno Avatare Jara Pratina Janino Jana Bole Se Papi Eno Aradino Ene Avatara Jara Pratina Janino Yoshana Bole Se Elo Arane Akora Parananda Nityananda Raya Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedaya Akora Parananda Nityananda Abhimana Shunya Nitai Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram 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 Jaya Baladev Prabhu 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 Baladev Prabhu Jaya Baladev Prabhu Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Sai Gaura Hari Bol Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Jaya Baladev, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Baladev, Baladev, Jaya Baladev. Oh, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Oh, Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Jaya Radha, Jaya Radha, Govinda Radha, Govinda Radha, Govinda Radha, Jaya Radha, Gopinata Radha, Gopinata Radha, Jaya Radha, Gopinata Radha, Gopinata Radha, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Oh, Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Ganhavika Giridhari Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotar Sarashi Shimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotar Sarashi Shimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotar Sarashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotar Sarashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Mahabhagavat Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Srila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudiya Vedantaracharya ki jai. Srila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan, Shri Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal, Bhattadas Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's ki jai. Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gaura Parsada ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem Sigaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi, Shri Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund, Radha Kund, Giri Govardhana ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Dham ki jai. Ganga Jamuna ki jai. Brihat Ganga ki jai. Baladev Purnima ki jai. Baladev Jayanti ki jai. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Om Aginati Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmaya Shri Guruve Namaha Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Prabhajantamanapetyam Apaitikrityam Dvaipaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tammayatayo Taravo Vinidustam Sarvabhutam Munimanatoshmi. First of all, offer millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of our most beloved Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om, Astol Tarasara Shishimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And the same again, millions and millions of times unto the lotus feet of our most beloved Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Astol Tarasara Shishimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And I'm offering all my Sastang Dandavat pranams to our illustrious Rupanuga Guru Vargya and all the Vaishnava and Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. So such a special day, Baladev Purnima, and I would like to share with you all this beautiful Sri Sri Baladev Stotram. And I would like to read through it and read the translation. It's a very beautiful glorification of our beloved Baladev Prabhu. And after this, then I will say something in reference to our Jaiva Dharma study that we've read already about Baladev Prabhu. So something will be there. And we'll see how we go for time. If we have time to go into our Jaiva Dharma, we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll just sit with the pastimes of Baladev Prabhu today, because as we always are saying, that when we glorify any personality, certainly it's going. Okay, so Gokul Prabhu will read the verses and I'll speak the translations.
Shri Shri Baladeva Stotram. Devadideva Bhagavan Kamapala Namostute. Namo Anantaya Sheshaya Sakshad Ramayete Namaha.
O Lord of Lords, I bow to you. O Bhagavan Kampala. O Balaram, I venerate you who are directly Shesha and Ananta. So this first verse is really showing us the map from the very top to the very bottom. It's showing us Baladev Prabhu and as Kamapala, that controller of lust. Like we have Gopal, the controller of the cows, so Kamapala, we have the controller of lust. This is a name, an honorific name for Balaram. And he's called Bhagavan because he is non-different to Bhagavan. He's the first manifestation coming from Swarup Shakti. He doesn't come from the body of Krishna. No one comes from the body of Krishna except Swarup Shakti and Gopeshwar Mahadev. Only these two. But Swarup Shakti, the Shakti of Krishna, is manifesting all of creation. So from that Swarup Shakti, that is manifesting Baladev Prabhu. But we can say that Baladev is the first manifestation of Krishna, because in Brahma Samhita it's stated like that. So Baladev is the first manifestation of Krishna, but through Swarup Shakti. So try to be clear on that. Otherwise, we won't understand Krishna Tattva. Krishna is the energetic. He's providing the energy.
So it means Radharani created Baladev.
As Swarup Shakti. As Swarup Shakti. We don't think of her as Radha like this. She is Radha, but we consider her in her Shakti aspect. Her personal aspect is Sri Radha for pastimes, but she has her Shakti. Just like Baladev is the Ishtadev of Sandini Shakti. Doesn't mean he is the Sandini Shakti. He's the controlling deity of that Ishta Shakti, Sandini Shakti. From Baladev is manifesting all creation, everything in creation. So we can think like that, that ultimately everything is manifesting by the divine love of Radhika to please Krishna. But she's in her form of Swarup Shakti. And it's from that Swarup Shakti that the Chit Shakti is manifesting, that the Jiva Shakti is manifesting, the Maya Shakti is manifesting. Everything is coming from that one principle. So the Swangsa avatars are manifesting from that Swarup Shakti, but they are connected completely to the Shakti itself. That means they're connected, directly linked to Krishna through the Swarup Shakti, whereas the Jiva is a separated part because he's coming from the Swarup, the Swamsa avatars. The Swamsa avatars is Baladev Prabhu, the Shringa, Korma, Varaha, etc. All the Dasha avatars, so many avatars, they're all coming from Swamsa, Swa Angsa. Swa means own, coming from Krishna's own form as Swarup Shakti. Understand? You have yourself and you have your energy. They're actually one. But for pastimes, they've separated. So we can't understand this. Don't try to understand it. Don't even try to understand. We'll just become like, you can't understand. It's achintya bhav. But we can appreciate the principle that all energies are manifesting from Swarup Shakti in creation. So this Sandini Shakti has manifested ultimately from Swarup Shakti, which is ultimately from Krishna. So Baladev Prabhu is providing the existence in every single form that we can conceive of. All the existence in Vrindavan, all the bodies of all the Brijbasis are all manifested by Baladev Prabhu in the form of that Sandini existence Shakti, except for Radhika's Kaya Vyuha, except for the gopis. They are manifesting directly from the body of the gopis, of Radhika, that Kaya Vyuha. And then Baladev Prabhu, he manifests in Vrindavan, and then as Sankarshan, he's manifesting in Vaikuntha, and then as Mahasankarshan, he's manifesting in Vaikuntha, and then he's manifesting as Anantashesh, ultimately sitting at the bottom of creation. And then as in Vaikuntha, then he's manifesting the Purusha avatars, Karanadakshay Vishnu, Garbhadakshay Vishnu, Shriyadakshay Vishnu. All of this line, everything that is being, he's manifesting the conditioned jivas. He's manifesting the transcendental bodies of the jivas. The jivas themselves are manifesting from Chit Shakti. We're coming from the Chit potency. Three potencies, right? And they are all ultimately manifesting from Swarup Shakti. They're coming from Swarup Shakti, who is Radhika, but they're in the form of Swarup Shakti. Don't try to understand it. Try to just appreciate it. If we try to what can we don't even understand about eternity. We've never experienced eternal, something that is of eternal nature. So all of these, the particle of spirit is manifesting from Chit Shakti. Then the actual body of that spirit will be gifted by Baladev Prabhu in Vaikuntha and in the material worlds also. So the body of the jiva is composed atomically of Sat, Chit, Ananda, Sandini, Sangvit, and Hladini. We're composed of those same three potencies. So the potency of Chit Shakti is there within the Jiva. That was our origin, Chit Shakti. And then by Baladev's mercy, we received a material form, body. That's why many times Nityananda calls us brother. He says, oh, brother, like that. He relates to us in that way. It's very endearing. Okay, so that's something of the first verse. O Balaram, I venerate you who are directly Shesha and Ananta. We usually say Ananta Shesh. Shesh means the snake-like form. Ananta is at the end. He's at the end of the material creation, holding all the universes on his head. This is also Balaram. And he's doing all of this in service to Krishna and Radhika. That's why he is the personification of bhakti. That's why he is Guru, Akhand Guru Mula Tattva. He's empowering all the gurus in our line all the way through with this Shakti of service, of bhakti. So he's doing all of this manifesting out of his extreme affection and love for Krishna. This is why he's doing. And he manifests in this world out of his love for Krishna, to serve him. He even enters the womb of Devaki before Krishna does, to prepare the womb for Krishna's advent after him. Balaram is the seventh. Someone listening to me?
Yeah, I think seven.
Huh?
I think so seven because Krishna was the eighth.
Yes, so the seventh, thank you. So the seventh son is actually a miscarriage according to external consideration from Devaki. But that was transferred to the womb of Rohini in Vrindavan. This was Baladev Prabhu. Preparing the womb in, again, my point saying this is to demonstrate the seva that Baladev Prabhu is performing right across all the different rasas, etc. And in the conjugal rasa, of course, we know he takes the form of Ananga Manjari, the younger sister of Radhika. So he's present in Shanta, Sakya, Dasya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. All the different rasas are there within Baladev, all to render service to the Supreme. And in his manifestation as Baladev Prabhu, he's doing so many different pastimes, which hopefully we'll get some time to speak about. Okay, we'll do the second verse.
दरादराय पूर्णाय स्वाधाम्ने क्षीरपानये सहस्रशीरसे नित्यं नमः संकर्षणाय ते.
You uphold the universe. You are whole and complete, replete with your supreme power. You hold a plough in your hand. O thousand-headed Sankarshan, I bow to you for eternity. This is a mood of pratana, a mood of prayer. He's saying this whole stotram actually is a mood of prayer, of honoring this personality of Baladev Prabhu. Okay, you can read the next one.
रेवती रमणत्वं वै बलदेवाच्युताग्रजः हलायुधप्रलम्बगुणां पाहि मां पुरुषोत्तमाम्.
So he's the husband of Revati, and we know this pastime, that Revati was actually in a previous yuga. They went to Lord Brahma, her father and daughter went to Lord Brahma to find a husband for Revati. And Lord Brahma said, well, in the time that you've taken to come here, by the time you get back, all of your dynasty, etc., won't be existing. All these various proposed husbands are going to be gone. But she can go back, and she is Baladev Prabhu's eternal consort, wife, Revati. So we know that when Baladev met her, he put his plow on her shoulder and brought her down to a compatible size for this. But she's not in Braj. She is in deity form. When you go to Dauji, the temple in Dauji, which is the temple for Baladev, You see, when you have darshan straight on, you see Krishna there, but you come in the side, you look in the side door, and Revati is being worshipped secretly, because this is the eternal consort of Baladev. He didn't have an eternal consort in Braj. So, but still they have that deity there in Braj, in Dauji. But Revati, her pastimes particularly, were in Dwarka with Balaram. So, and then it's also mentioning here the older brother of Achyuta. This is very wonderful to appreciate, because we remember in Ram Leela he came as Lakshman and had to do so many onerous services for Ram that he wasn't happy doing. But because he was the younger brother, he was compelled to do everything. He had to take Sita to the forest. He was guarding Sita. He had to take the abuse of Sita when she chastised him, and he had to go out when Ram was chasing that Marichi deer, etc. But there were so many pastimes that Lakshman was not really wanting to. He followed with great love and affection, but he told Achyuta, he told Krishna, in my next birth, I will come as your older brother. He prefers that role. And it's very interesting to appreciate their relationship, because many times they actually clash. Many times they have a different viewpoint on different pastimes. And this just heightens the sweetness and speciality of the pastimes. We know with the pastime of Subhadra, the sister of Krishna and Balaram. Balaram Prabhu wanted Subhadra to marry Duryodhan. Duryodhan was his disciple. He taught Duryodhan the club. And actually, there's an interesting story there. But then we know that Krishna wanted his sister Subhadra to marry Arjun. So he instructs Arjun to dress like a sadhu, like a sannyasi, and go and sit in the marketplace, and many people will come. And he knew that eventually Balaram would invite him to his house to honor him and give him prasad, etc., because this was the culture of the time. All saintly persons would be invited, just like today. So when he came, Arjun and Subhadra had eye contact, and Subhadra understood, oh, this, is her beloved. And then Arjuna arranged to kidnap Subhadra. And Balaram was furious when he realized, oh, this was an imposter sannyasi, this was actually Arjun. And then he wanted to go with his whole army and capture Arjun. And Krishna was standing there next to Balaram smiling. And Balaram saying, well, why are you smiling? And he said, have a look, who's driving the chariot? Who has the reins of the chariot? It was Subhadra who was driving the chariot. It wasn't Arjun who was driving the chariot. So then Balaram understood, oh, Krishna has arranged all this. This is the desire of my little brother. Okay, so then his anger calmed down. And Krishna was saying, in our family, we have a history of kidnapping wives. So what's the problem like that? Baladev wasn't particularly pleased. It was a clash again. There was another time when the Shamantaka jewel was stolen from Satyajit. And then Satyajit was murdered in Dwarka. Whole political situation. And Shatadanava was the actual culprit who murdered Satyajit. And he had the jewel, the Shamantaka jewel, and he gave it in the custody of Akrura, because he knew that Krishna knew he had it, and he knew that Krishna was going to come after him. And he got a horse that could ride 900 miles without stopping. So this Shatadanava, he rode this horse for 900 miles, and Krishna and Balaram were pursuing him the whole way in a chariot to capture him and apparently retrieve the jewel. But then the horse died after 900 miles, and then Krishna and Balaram, they got down to pursue Shatadanava. Then Krishna, with his chakra, he cuts off the head of Shatadanava, because actually Shatadanava is the murderer of Satyajit, who's the father of Satyabhama. And then Krishna, he goes to that dead horse and he starts feeling amongst the saddlebags, the bags on the horse, for that Shamantaka jewel, looking through it. Then he comes back to Balaram and says, oh, the jewel's not there. And Balaram, he looks at Krishna and he says, you are omniscient. You knew from the beginning the jewel wasn't there. Why are you fooling me like this? Balaram was not happy that Krishna had made this whole endeavor to chase him, apparently chasing to collect the jewel. But Krishna wanted to chastise, wanted to punish this Shatadanava. But he was pretending to look for the jewel. And when he came back and said, no, it's not there, Balaram was thinking, why you... Because before, in Braj, when Lord Brahma had stolen all the cowherd boys, Balaram didn't know about that. Balaram wasn't there on the day when Lord Brahma stole the cowherd boys and calves. Balaram was performing his birthday functions. And so he only knew right at the very, very end. A day before, practically all the real cowherd boys manifested themselves again. Because Balaram, he saw that beautiful scene when the older cows, the mothers, they ran away from their caretakers, the gopas, on these slopes of Govardhan. And they raced down a very steep embankment to be reunited with their 1-year-old calves, not the younger calves that were there. The cowherd boys were taking out the younger calves and the 1-year-old calves. But these mothers, they ran down and they started licking their 1-year-old cows. And Balaram was thinking, this is strange that the cows should just lost control. The cowherd men were very, very angry that the cows have broken loose. They might break their legs. They might hurt themselves. Why are they doing something so desperate, running down the side of this steep slope to be with their calves? You know, what is the intense attraction? And then the cowherd men, when they got to the bottom of the hill, they were very angry with the cows. They were not in a good mood because the cows, they were caring for the cows and the cows could have hurt themselves. So they were upset. But as soon as the cowherd men saw their sons, who were expansions of Krishna, immediately their hearts melted. And they put their sons on their lap, they smelt their heads, they stroked them and everything, they embraced them. And Baladev, he was looking, what's happening here? Something strange is going on. These older cows, the mother cows, they're only going to the older calves. And the cowherd men, they lost all their frustration when they were with their sons. So he's standing next to Krishna and he looks at Krishna and Krishna starts to lift this veil of Yogamaya that was covering the identity of the murti forms that Krishna had manifested to replace the real Nityasiddha Parikas, the eternal Parikas of Krishna. And then Balaram, he's suddenly seeing this manifestation that all the cowherd boys are actually manifestations of Krishna. And Balaram is shocked, really shocked. And he said, why didn't you tell me about this? And Krishna said, because I knew you would miss Sridham too much. Sridham and Balaram are such good friends. And if Balaram thought that Sridham was going to go away for a year, Balaram would have been very feeling, separation, great separation. But secretly, Krishna knew that Balaram would immediately tell Mother Yashoda. Balaram wouldn't keep it a secret, because there's other instances when Balaram tells when Krishna was taking dirt. There's another pastime when Krishna and Balaram were playing together and they suddenly decided, we want some makhan, we want some butter. So they creep into the room in Nandagan where the butter's hanging from the ceiling. And they're looking up and Krishna says, how are we going to get it? It's so high. Balaram says, easy, you just stand on my shoulders and get it. So Krishna, he stands on Balaram's shoulders, reaches up, grabs hold of the container, and then Balaram runs away and leaves him hanging in the air. And then Balaram runs to his mother, Mai, look what Krishna's doing. Look what Krishna's doing. Mother Yashoda comes in, very angry. What are you doing here? Pulls him down, chastises him. But Balaram will do things like this for Krishna. So we get an insight into their relationship. In that story I was telling you about Shatadanava, when Krishna kills him with his chakra, when he's running away from his dead horse, After Krishna sees that Krishna was just fooling with me, looking through those saddlebags, he knew that the jewel wasn't there. Why was he doing this? Balaram becomes a little upset with that. And then he goes to the nearby city of Matila. They've come right across, almost to the middle of India, chasing this murderer. And then Balaram goes to the city of Janak Maharaj, of Matila, and he stays there for 7 years, teaching Duryodhana the club, etc. That's his purpose, to be there. And he has a relationship with Duryodhana. He's like his spiritual master, basically. So that's very interesting how he does like that, you know. And also this other pastime I just told you at Vatsavan about Lord Brahma stealing the cows. When Balaram found out about this pastime that he hadn't been told, he doesn't come out cow grazing for 5 days because he's not happy with Krishna. And when he does come out, that day he comes out, he kills Pralambasura. It's arranged for him to kill Pralambasura. And then everything is sort of forgotten about. But all these different, and Balaram doesn't take part in the Kurukshetra war. He decides to go on because he's partial in some way to Duryodhana. He's not antagonistic to Duryodhana. This all is the balancing of the personalities within the Mahabharata war. So Balaram takes that position of like mediator sometimes. And he doesn't partake in the war. So just some pastimes there but this all highlights their relationship is very, very sweet indeed. Balaram, he would give 1,000,000 of his lives to protect Krishna from anything, and just so dear to him. And Balaram is so dear to Krishna. Both of them are so close to each other. That's why it's important to appreciate their age difference is 8 days. Sometimes you will read and hear, my Gurudev always talks about the age. For so many years I've heard Gurudev speak about the age. He wants us to know clearly, because there are many, many people who think Balaram was 1 year older. If he was 1 year older, how could they be crawling around together in the cowherd sheds? How they could be doing so many naughty pastimes together if Balaram was 1 year older? No, they're 8 days different, which makes Baladev completely the senior. Even if you're 1 hour, if you're a twin and you're the first twin, if you're the older twin, actually that's the second twin is the older twin, because the second twin manifesting is the first twin to be conceived. You're still always considered the older brother. And the older brother in traditional Vedic culture always has the last word. That's why but Krishna doesn't always obey Balaram. When they were in Braj and the Kaliya Naga was disturbing the waters there, they knew how much of a huge serpent this Kaliya Naga was. So they didn't actually go to that lake, that Hrada where Kaliya was. And then one day it was Balaram's birthday again, and he had to stay at home. And just Krishna took the cows out without Balaram. So Balaram says to Krishna, go anywhere you like, but don't go to Kaliya Hrida. Don't you go there without me. So as soon as Krishna gets out, where does he go? Straight to Kaliya Hrida. You know, it's just their mood, their relationship. It's very sweet. Balaram is, you know, asking him to do what he says, but sometimes Krishna doesn't. You know, that's the nature. It's a special sweetness. And there's a beautiful pastime there when Krishna gets caught in the coils of Kaliya for 40 minutes, it's described, 2 praharas. He's captured in the coils of Kaliya Naga. And then the Brijbasis come because they see the bad omens that the demigods are manifesting, earthquakes, jackals screaming, and the right sides of men trembling. This is all inauspicious. So they ran to look for Krishna. They followed the footprints of the cows and they found him in Kaliya Hrida, locked in the coils of Kaliya Naga. And they immediately want to enter that poisonous lake. All the men especially. And Balaram, he puts his arms out, and his moon-like face, he has such a beautiful complexion, and he just beams radiantly at all the Brijbasis and tells, don't worry, don't worry. My younger brother, you don't know his potency. He's so powerful. So he holds them all back, and they're charmed by his smile and his mood of not being overly concerned. Because of course you can imagine the Brijbasis, this is the first time they're ever seeing Krishna fighting a demon. They've never seen Krishna fighting a demon before. Bakasura and Agasura, they weren't there. And Trinavrata, they didn't see him. Pralambasura, they didn't see. And Putana, they didn't see. Shakatasura was just like a ghost. They never seen Krishna actually fighting with a demon until they saw him in the coils of Kaliya. So they were just, wanting to protect him. But Baladev Prabhu, by his omniscient potency, he was able to keep them back. So many pastimes in Braj where Baladev demonstrates his potency. So Baladev, you are the husband of Revati and the older brother of Achyuta. You wield the plow as a weapon. Yes, it's said that he doesn't take his plow into Braj, but actually at Ramghat, where he chastises Jamuna Devi for not coming when he's with his gopis, he drags her with his plow. And you can still see today the marks. When you go to Ramghat, there's an area there where you see the marks of the plow. When Baladev was intoxicated and Jamuna Devi refused to come, follow his order. You are the killer of Pralamba. Yes, this great demon Pralamba. When when Balaram was being carried away by Pralamba, they were playing this game, and the losers, they had to carry the winners on their shoulders. So Balaram was on the shoulders of Pralambasura, and Pralamba started running away from the whole group. And then Balaram could smell, the garlic or onion coming out of the mouth of this Pralamba, and realized, he's a demon. And then Balaram was so engrossed as being a gopa, a cowherd boy, he was bewildered what to do. And he looks at Krishna, and Krishna sends him a glance to remind him of his omniscience. And then Balaram is described that he punches him with the whole weight of the Brahmand. Balaram is Anantashesh, we've just described. So he has the whole weight of this, punches him and splits his head, kills him, crushes him completely. So this is the killer of Pralamba. Protect me, O Supreme Person. Okay.
बलाय बलभद्राय तलङ्काय नमो नमः नीलम्बराय गौराय रोहिण्याय ते नमः.
I bow to you, O Bala, O Balabhadra. Your flag sports the image of a palm tree. You dress in blue garments. Your complexion is golden, and you are the son of Rohini. Rohini's husband is, of course, Vasudev, same as Krishna's father in Dwarka. Vasudev, he has 18 wives, and Rohini and Dwarka are two of them. Devaki are two of them. So Krishna and Balaram are full brothers because they both have the same father. And they have the same father in Braj also, because Balaram, born from Rohini, and Yashodama are the very closest intimate friends. So Rohini is living in the household of Nanda Baba with Yashodama. So Krishna and Balaram are growing up together as complete brothers. There's no distinction, there's no separation between them. They both have like two mothers. Krishna is growing up thinking that Rohini is my mother and Mother Yashoda is my mother. And Balaram is thinking the same, like this. And they're both thinking that Nanda Baba is our father. And then when they go to Mathura, they're also still related because they are the sons of Vasudev, both of them. So they're still both brothers. In all instances, they were. How amazing that Krishna should have. Who else is born with two mothers and two fathers? Only Krishna and Balaram. Very beautiful. And he has this golden complexion, which is very, very attractive. Sometimes it's described as whitish, like the moon. Beautiful, very, very attractive. Okay.
धेनुकारीर्मुष्टिकारीर्कूटरारीर्बलबल बलान्तकः रुक्मियारी कूपकर्णारी कुम्भदा कुम्भन्धारीस्तव एव त्वम् एव हि
You are the enemy of Denuka, Mushtika, and Kuta, and the ender of Balabala. You are also the destroyer of Rukmi, Kupakarn, and Kumbanda. So Denuka, we know the pastime of the donkey demon, Denukasura, in Talvan. And Balaram, he whirled this demon around, and the centrifugal force of that whirling lost his life, and he threw him into a tree. And then they kill all these other demons. And this is described, Denukasura is described as this repository of anartas. So it's like Guru, who is actually dealing with this anartas. But we should understand that Baladev, yes, he can destroy these anartas. How does he destroy them? By illuminating them within us so that we will reject them. He can't take them away magically, so we don't have that calm, crowed, lobe, etc. We don't have that lust and anger, but he can show us that lust and anger within us, and we have to take it away. So Balaram, very mercifully, he will open that door and demonstrate, let us somehow or other see what are our anartas. And then by that method, then we have to purify those anartas that are illuminated by Guru, in the form of Guru. Guru will reveal our shortcomings. He can't take them away. Why? Because we have independence. We've always got independence. In the spiritual world, we have independence. We always have this independence. We must have this independence to have personality, to have nature, to have character. Just like we're describing the independent nature of Baladev Prabhu. He sometimes has different ideas to Krishna. He doesn't fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. He separately goes on pilgrimage, etc. So many different individual natures manifest, individual feelings manifest in Baladev Prabhu. So they killed Denuka. Mustika, of course, in the wrestling arena. These wrestlers were massive, absolutely massive. But Balaram and Krishna, very easily, out of childish pleasure practically, killed both of these huge demons. Kuta was another wrestler there in the arena. I think that's right. And the ender of Balabala. You remember the pastime of Balabala? When Balaram goes to the assembly at Naimisharanya and Ramaharsana is sitting on the asan and doesn't rise. Everyone else rises, but Ramaharsana, who's actually a disciple of Vyasadeva, very elevated personality, that's why he doesn't rise, because he thinks, he has the conception that he's very elevated. So Baladev can perceive this. And just with a piece of kusha grass, he goes up and he kills him like that. The sages are shocked. They're very unhappy. They're all sattvic, gentle, meditative sages. And suddenly Baladev, who we all love so much, has come in and taken away our leader like that. So Baladev could sense their disturbance. And he said, well, shall I bring him back to life again? And they said, no, what you've done, you've done. But we have to rectify the solution because we're performing this 1,000-year yagya to offset the influence of the age of Kali manifesting. So Baladev Prabhu, he installs his son, Ugrashrava or Sutta Goswami, the son of Ramaharsana, on the asan. And he empowers him totally with all the Shakti and all the ingredients that his father had also had to conduct to be the Mahant of that assembly of sages at Naimisharanya. So after this, Balaram is feeling somewhat humbled in a sense and says to the sages, what must I do to atone for this act of killing Ramaharsana? And at that time, The sages say, oh no, you're fine, it's okay. But then Balaram insists, and then the sages say, well, there's one demon, Balvala, who is disturbing us regularly. You please kill this demon. So Balaram waits for the demon to appear, and then he appears, and he first of all, he showers the whole arena of the yajna with all filthy objects, blood, pus, and stool, and so on, and just creates total disturbance like a whirlwind comes through. And then he manifests his huge, colossal form. This demon, Balvala, has a huge, colossal form. And Balaram, then his form is in the sky, because Balaram, he challenges him, and then Balvala goes into the sky, and Balaram, with his plow in one hand, he pulls the demon down to the earth, and with his mace, he smashes his head just in one blow, just very, very quickly annihilates this demon. No messing around. He just completely, like, quickly, instantly annihilates this demon. No anything. And the sages are so happy. And then the sages, they say to Balaram, to completely atone for killing Ramaharsana, you should perform pilgrimage of all the holy places for the next 12 months. But this was on the agenda of Balaram anyway. So this is how gentle and merciful are the sages. They only want to please actually Balaram. So Balaram performed this beautiful activity at Naimisharanya. So this is mentioning, where is it? Balvala, that's the pastime of Balvala. You are also the destroyer of Rukmi. We know when Rukmini was being kidnapped by Krishna, and Rukmi had vowed that his sister would marry Shishupal. And all the armies, they stopped, they tried to check Krishna, but Krishna very easily overcame them all. And Rukmi, he vowed in front of everyone, I will not come back unless I can bring my sister back from this rogue Krishna. And he went to do that with full determination. And Krishna captures him, and he's going to kill him. But Rukmini is there. He's just married to Rukmini. This would have been something rasabas. And Baladev suddenly appears with his army, because when he heard that Krishna was going to kidnap Rukmini, he also brought his army up to protect Krishna as well. So then Balaram, he comes and he pacifies Krishna and says, understands this is their wedding day, more or less, that he shouldn't kill the brother of the bride on this day. This would be most, and Rukmini would feel very pinched, if her brother, even though her brother was a rascal and a demon associating with all other demons. And then Krishna very easily, he chops off the hair in different places on the head of Rukmi, but he chops it in such a way that it's like stopped. So it'll never grow back in its proper way. It's like not just shaved down, but sliced, like some skin is taken off the actual root. So it'll always grow out, so completely disfigured. And this was as good as death. This is like Ashwatthama, when he also got the same treatment. Arjun did that there. So then Rukmi, he's vowed that he won't come back, so he can't go back. He goes out to another village and he just remains there, away. But there is a time he comes back, because he has a wrestling match, a chess match with Baladev is there. And that's when Baladev knocks his teeth out with his club and he kills him because he cheats. So that's another pastime. So many pastimes. Baladev, Leela, enormous, but we're just trying to keep the time here. And then this Kupa Karna and Kumbhabanda, they were generals in the army of Banasura. This is who these two personalities were. And Balaram, he defeats Banasura. These two very powerful enemies have been killed already. So he clears the ground there for them. Okay, Kalindi.
कालिन्दी वेदनोऽसि त्वम् अस्तिनापुरकर्षकः द्विदैर्यादवेन्द्रो व्रजमण्डलमन्दनः.
So you diverted the Yamuna river and brought her towards Hastinapur. We've already described that pastime at Ramgat, when Balaram was taking the Varuni ras from the trees. Honeymead is like an intoxicating beverage. All the gopis and Balaram became intoxicated. And my Gurudev explains this isn't the Yamuna Devi who's the embodiment of Vishaka Devi. This is an expansion. Vishaka Devi, he wouldn't pull Vishaka Devi like this. This is Kalindi Devi, not Vishaka Devi. So it's a different personality within the Jamuna at that time. To break her banks and divert her towards Hastinapur. You killed the Vadvida gorilla. This gorilla is left over from Ram. Ram Leela has a pastime with all the monkeys, of course, the Varanas, and Dravida was on the side of Ram, fighting Ravana. But he was very offensive to Lakshman at one point, and then he has to remain and be chastised by Lakshman in the form of Balaram when Dravida, the gorilla, steals the gopis when they're playing Holi. He runs away with like manifestations of the gopis. They're not actually the gopis, but an illusory form of the gopis. And Baladev, he kills this gorilla demon at that time, very easily kills him. And then you are the best of the Yadavs and the splendor of Braj. That's very beautiful. Okay.
कंसबाथ प्रहंतासी तीत यत्राक्र प्रभु दुर्योधन गुरु साक्षात पाहि पाहि प्रभो त्वतः.
So you killed Kamsa's brothers. When Krishna killed Kamsa in the arena, then all Kamsa's brothers began to attack. Balaram, he picks up one of those tusks from that Kuvalyapida elephant, and then he just slaughters all those brothers with that weapon of the tusk from the trunk of that huge elephant that was blocking them. And then he goes on that wide pilgrimage and blesses and sanctifies all the holy places with his mercy. You are the master and guru of Duryodhan. Yes, he teaches, because we see at the very end in the Mahabharata, when Bhima and Duryodhan are fighting, club fighting, both of them have been taught by Balaram. So Balaram hears of this battle, and he comes there to that lake, that pond where they're fighting, right at the very last day, practically, of the Mahabharata war. And he sees Bhima strike Duryodhan below the waist, in the thigh, which is totally forbidden in club fighting. So this club fighting is a very fine art. And Baladev was shocked that his disciple, Bhim, should actually do something so low. But he turned to Krishna, and Krishna was smiling, because it was Krishna who had indicated to Bhim that, yes, hit here. We know the pastime when Duryodhan went to receive the Shakti from Gandhari. Gandhari told him, the wife of Dhritarashtra, told him to come to her tent, completely naked. And then she was going to spread her effulgent light all over his body to make it like iron. That was the Shakti that Gandhari had. So as he was coming through the tents, tricky Krishna was there and said, "Oh, Duryodhana, why are you naked? Yeah, at least wear a gamsha. How can you go in and see your, grandmother and you don't even have a gamsha on? Mother, sorry, not grandmother, mother. And you're not even covering your private parts, So Duryodhana, he thought, yes, I should at least wear a gamsha. So he put the gamsha on. Then when he goes into his mother pulls up her blindfold a little bit and she empowers his whole body. Then she's horrified. Why did you cover your midriff? Why did you cover your waist area? And Duryodhana says, "Oh, Krishna told me to." And then Gandhari, she smiles. "Oh, yes, this is destiny. This is what must happen." So this is what Krishna was indicating to Bhima when he struck him there, because the rest of Duryodhana's body was like iron. It could never, ever be defeated with however hard Bhim thrashed him with his club. But if he hit here, this was unprotected. So he had to do like that. Actually, when he's jumping in the air is when he actually does it. He smashes him, and that cripples his legs completely. And then he dies in that crippled condition. So that was the story there of Duryodhana. Prabhu, protect me, please. Protect me. Okay.
जय जयाच्युत देवा परात्परा स्वयं अनंत दिगंत गत श्रुता सुर मुनीन्द्र फनीन्द्र वरायते मुसालिने बलिने हलिने नमः.
O Achyuta, all glory. Oh no, is that the right one?
Yes.
Yes. O Achyuta, all glories to you. All glories to you. O Supreme Lord, you are Ananta himself. Your glories are spread to the ends of all directions. You are the worshipable Lord of the demigods, sages, and great snakes. You are the powerful wielder of the plow and mace. I bow unto you. Okay, read the next one.
यः पठेत् सततं स्तवनं नरः स तु हरे परमं पद्माव्रजेत् जगति सर्वबलं त्वरिमर्दनं भवति तस्य धनं स्वजनो गणम्.
That man who diligently studies this hymn or stotram will attain the supreme position of service to Sri Hari, because that's what Baladev can offer us. He can offer us this pure devotion, Shuddha Bhakti. We take shelter of Baladev today to the best of our capacity and implore him to please make this Shuddha Bhakti, make my nature sufficient, my adhikar sufficient to actually absorb in Shuddha Bhakti. Service to Hari, and while in this world will have all the strength necessary to vanquish his enemies and accrue wealth and relatives. So, what wealth is what the devotees want? The wealth of mercy of the Vaishnavas, the wealth of sensitivity to understand Shastra, the wealth of the potency to know what is good for my bhakti and what is not, to know what is vidya and what is avidya. Actually, these are all the teachings that we're absorbing in Jaiva Dharma. All these siddhantas and tattvas are here, very easily accessible. So if we pray today for this benediction, that Baladev Prabhu will give me the strength. We need strength to turn away from the illusory energy every single day. Every single day, there will be an opportunity to be on the bodily platform and to perform. We have to perform our bodily functions. We're in the body. But to get absorbed in the body for longer than is necessary is going to become a weakness. So everything has to be in balance. Yes, we have to attend to various bodily aspects of our lives, but at the same time, they must be in balance. If we start to get into our health food and we just go overboard and then doing all kinds of things in that, where is Krishna going to be? I'm just body, 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 body. Just thinking about, is my body healthy? Is my body unhealthy, etc.? Thinking like that. So sometimes devotees get imbalanced in that regard. So we pray for the strength from Baladev Prabhu, from that his potency, that Bal Shakti, that is the strength. It's described in our Jivadharma 16th chapter that when the jivas, they don't have this Bal Shakti, then they make the mistake of becoming attracted to the Mayic illusion. It's this Bal Shakti that we pray for today. And we will get that Bal Shakti. Don't doubt these personalities. This is coming from the Garga Samhita. So this is coming from Gargadev himself. This, like spiritual master in one sense of Krishna, did the name ceremony, etc. in Vrindavan. Garga, very potent personality. They're not going to give us some indication that is not absolutely true. But what will make it absolutely true is our sincerity. If our sincerity is there and our shraddha, yes, Baladev Prabhu can protect me from all these illusions and all these distractions of Maya. Then I will come to the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna in my seva to them in Shuddha Bhakti. So Baladev Prabhu ki jai, Baladev Jayanti ki jai. Anantakota Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much for listening, to giving me the opportunity to speak something on Baladev. Very purifying for the speaker and the listener. So, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhavevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha.